Well, hello there, everyone. It's Nina. Thanks for joining me today for a new edition of our Funny Friday series with art impressions and a very fun card and tag set that is perfect for some extremely special people on your holiday list this year. If this card was food, this would be considered gourmet. This card is extremely dimensional, has a lot of glamorous aspects about it, and the fun part is that it's a shaker too. In today's video, I'm using the adorable Mousey Christmas stamp and coordinating die set from Art Impressions. The dies do come with the set when you purchase the stamp set. We're going to be Copic coloring these adorable mice in today. I'm going to be mounting them inside of my Misty tool and then using some Hammermill cardstock we'll stamp on top of that. For my stamping, I have chosen some Simon Says Stamp Intense Black ink because I'm doing the Copic coloring. I want something that's going to be safe for my markers. So Copic markers work great with the intense black ink, so do watercolors and other coloring mediums. Now I'm going to use the packaging as a guide for my coloring. You don't have to do so, you can color these mice however you want, but I thought they looked so cute that I wanted to coordinate mine to look just like the ones on the packaging. Minus a few tweaks. I made a little bit of adjustments here and there, but for the most part I used that packaging as a great guide. It's also a good guide if you're new to coloring for where you want to place your shading. So if you look at the coloring, you can see the lighter areas versus the darker spots, and that will give you a really good idea of where to put those shaded areas to make these images look more dimensional. If you're interested in knowing which Copic colors I used, I do have them linked below in the video description as well as on the blog, so be sure to check that out. You'll notice that the images on the stamp set have a little bit of accents. Things like the little snowflakes on the mug, the stitching, some little dots on the hats of the mice. You can add those in if you want by using a white gel pen. I'm going to do that for the mug, but for the rest of the mice, I didn't want to add any of those white accents. Now I did create the candy striped straw for this little mouse here that is slurping away at hot chocolate. And for all of these mice, I colored them all the same with some brown markers. These are E40 markers. I really like the neutral color palette of the E40s, but you could of course go with something a little warmer, something with more orange in it by going in the E30 color family. Once all the coloring was complete, I did bring out the coordinating dies and my Simon Says Stamp very, very low tack tape. I'm going to use this tape to hold these in place as I run them through my die cut machine. I'm going to cut these out all at once, so that saves some time instead of having to cut them individually. You can see how cute these images are when they cut out. Even the tiniest little details of their little tails are cut out with these dies. I think this is just charming. To accent these mice, I'm going to add some sparkle and glitter because of course it's the holiday season, you gotta do so. So I use glossy accents to draw some areas on the fluff and marshmallow that's inside of the mug, and I'll use some distressed clear rock candy glitter to apply on top of that glue. For everything else, I brought in some white Nuvo drops, and these are actually a clear glitter white. They're going to create a really nice glittery finish on the white areas of the mice. So any of their trim and fur, I really wanted to make sure I had that sparkle finish to them. Moving on, we're going to make our shaker card next. So I have an A2 white card panel and a Simon Says Stamp nested circle die. I'll tape this die in place right in the center of my card so that way it doesn't shift as I run it through my machine. On the back side of that panel, I covered it with some red line tape, and I'm going to remove the release paper so that way I can lay a piece of acetate on top of this. So this is on the back side, and this is forming a window into our shaker. And this acetate is from Simon Says Stamp. I'm going to mark on another piece of white cardstock. This is going to be the background of my shaker. I'm marking where the circle is. This is giving me just a general guide for where to do my ink blending. I wanted to create a little bit of a ground for my mouse to sit on, so I used some fawn ink from Simon Says Stamp and a post-it note to make a very rough ground. Then I'm going to mask that off and do a little ink blending above that to create just a little background. I used Cheeky and also Simon Says Stamp Cherry ink to add that color. I'm now going to lay this stencil, this is a Simon Says Stamp Snowflake stencil, on top of that background that we're making. This is going to allow me to do a bit of stenciling with some stencil butter. This is pearl white. It's going to make a nice shimmery snowflake background for the scene that my mouse is going to be amongst. I'm putting this on very thin so that way it will dry fairly quickly. I would say this was dry in about 30 minutes. Depending on your location, the drying time may vary. So I glued my mouse down on top of my background. He looks so cute with his little mug of hot chocolate amongst those snowflakes, and we're going to sparkle things up by making a shaker for him to be sitting in. So I filled my shaker with a variety of things I had in my stash. I had some hearts. These are clay hearts from Pretty Pink Posh. I had some circle confetti pieces, and I'm even going to bring in some pink and white sequins that'll add some nice color and go nicely with the pink colors in the background. I wanted to particularly include those heart confetti pieces because those reminded me of sprinkles, and with the hot chocolate, it just really went so well together. So because these panels are the exact same size, I'm just going to line them up on top of my shaker well, which was made from 2 layers of foam tape, and that's going to enclose those sequins in place and give me a really fun shaker. Now we're going to glam it up by adding some tinsel from Tim Holtz around the edges. I know this card is really glamorous. I love all of the holiday accents that we're including here. It's making an extremely festive card. Obviously a bit harder to mail, but it's great for giving to somebody in person. So if you're giving somebody a gift, this would be a great card to go with it. And I'm also going to show you what I did with the other mice that we colored and turn them into tags. So this is a cute ensemble of holiday goodness that you can put with your gift. Give this as something special for somebody for the holidays. You're noticing a few little candy cane embellishments that I'm adding here from Tim Holtz. I glued those down with hot glue. And now let's move on to making those tags. So I used a scallop tag die from Simon Says Stamp. It's linked below in the video description if you're looking for it. And I'm also going to ink blend this tag just like I did for the background of my shaker with the cheeky and cherry inks. So I'm going to do 2 tags because we have 2 leftover mice. That'll go perfectly with this card. I'm using that same snowflake stencil again, but this time instead of doing the stenciling with the paste, I'm actually going to stencil with ink. So I just used that same cherry ink and did a tone-on-tone stenciling effect. I'll do this for both tags, and then we'll glue the mice on top using some foam tape. This adds just a little bit of dimension and gives them some separation off of the background. I tied some of that festive tinsel onto these tags to help them coordinate perfectly with the card. This looks super cool. I love the sparkle and the total holiday charm that this provides. I'm going to finish things off by adding a few sequins. These match the same sequins that I included in the shaker card. So again, we're trying to really coordinate these well. So that way this is a perfect set together. So now we have these 2 adorable tags that go perfectly with our glamorous shaker card that I think is just too cute. I love how this card turned out. This set is the Mousey Christmas stamp and die set from Art Impressions. Adorable and perfect for not only cards, but also tags this holiday season. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed and are inspired to create with this set. Be sure to give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed, and don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss any of our future videos. I'll be back soon with more to share, but until next time, I hope you have a fabulous day.
I'm Heidi, Simon's mama and founder at simonsaysstamp.com. Thank you so much for watching our video. If you like what you just saw, be sure to press the thumbs up and subscribe to see more great content.